I'm Dr. Michael Martin. I'm the Artistic Director for the Cumberland Oratorio Singers, and I think a lot of people ask the question what oratorio actually means. It's a large work. It's kind of like an opera without all the scenes and everything, but it's a religious work. So when people go to see Messiah, for instance, they think of oratorio, and Bach wrote Christmas oratorio. So it's a group that kind of sings those things. We've moved away from that over the last few years because our mission has broadened a bit, where we've tried to work with the youth of the Sandhills area and beyond. We've tried to extend our membership to beyond Cumberland County. So we've tried to really reach out to a different audience. Back in 1991, Allan Border began this group through the influence of wanting to do Mozart's Requiem as part of the celebration of Mozart's death in 1991. And people said, hey, let's do that again. And since then, we've enjoyed 25 years of wonderful singing with the likes of the FSO and many different partnerships that we've had in the area. And we've enjoyed such large works and such grand times together. I think that people will probably remember the journey much better than they remember the concerts.
Hi, I'm Matthew Franks. I'm the president of the board of directors of Cumberland Oratorio Singers. I've been a member of this group since 2009, and being a member of this group has really allowed me to expand my horizons as a musician. What makes the Cumberland Oratorio Singers different and kind of unique in its own right is mainly our repertoire. Most of the people in Fayetteville, they're used to hearing the traditional church choir or high school community, high school groups like that. And Cumberland Oratorio Singers offers an experience that one just cannot get in Fayetteville because of the level of repertoire that we do in our concerts. In the last several years, Cumberland Oratorio has begun to develop partnerships with other organizations in our community. Groups like the Fayetteville Symphony, the Fayetteville Concert Band. We have performed for the Army's Army, the Ride to Honor. We offer Star Spangled Banner for various events around the community, and just an experience that you just cannot get anywhere else.
The Oratorio Singers enjoys a really nice partnership with the Holy Trinity Episcopal Church. So when people want to turn out and join the group on Monday nights and they want to come and sing with me, all they have to do is just sing a little bit, and we determine that they are a soprano, an alto, a tenor, or a bass. And once we've done that and we agree on those terms, then they just simply come every Monday night and enjoy our concerts with us. I'm hoping that more people in a community as large as ours will be willing to come out and sing. The thing I'm most proud of being with the Oratorio Singers for the past 9 years is just watching their growth as an ensemble. We started with a lot of small choral works, but we gradually have worked up over the years until last spring we're singing Carmina Burana. And I don't think that piece would have been possible for this group 9 years ago. On behalf of the Cumberland Oratorio Singers, we want to thank Community Concerts for bestowing us this honor of being part of the Music Hall of Fame. And we want you to come out, come and join us and sing with us on Monday nights.
I'm Allan Border, and I grew up in a musical family. I played the piano, and I sang in the church choir. After I left the Air Force, I went to college to major in music. After leaving college, I wanted to teach voice as well as to perform, and I wanted to conduct. I earned a master's degree in music and then obtained a teaching position at Methodist College, where I taught voice, conducting, theory, and directed choral groups. I was director of music at Hay Street United Methodist Church and devoted 42 years to sacred choral music. In my first years at Methodist in the 1960s, I formed a community chorus which lasted for 9 years. But there were overwhelming difficulties in keeping it going. Then in 1961, Methodist College awarded me a sabbatical leave, and I was able to embark upon a 5-week tour of Europe in order to study Mozart and visit the places where he had lived and worked. This was the 200th anniversary of Mozart's death, and we attended the Mozart Festival in Salzburg, Austria. Once back in Fayetteville, I planned a Mozart festival for the college and community for the rest of the year. Recitals, lectures, exhibits, and a performance of Requiem on the anniversary of his death in November. Just as similar events were taking place all over the country and around the world. The performance was well received, and the enthusiasm of the singers and the community that followed was very inspiring. They wanted to continue the choral group. Now, with the support of many influential music lovers in the community, we were able to form the Cumberland Oratorio Singers. In the 17 years I was director of the Cumberland Oratorio Singers, we presented 2 to 4 concerts a year and covered many different genres. Opera choruses, 20th century works, and traditional oratorios, masses, cantatas, the music of George Gershwin, Cole Porter, Jerome Kearns, and all the masterworks in choral literature. One of the highlights, in retrospect, is the Holocaust cantata, when we had survivors of the Holocaust speak, and a question and answer session at the end of the concert for the audience. Fayetteville gave me the opportunity to be in musical theater, which I loved. Productions at Fort Bragg Playhouse with Lee Yop, Cape Fear Regional Theater with Bo Thorpe, circuit productions with Jane Barry, and productions at Methodist College provided opportunities to direct, act, sing, etc. Music was my life, and my whole family supported and participated in everything I did. I want to thank Community Concerts, and I'm honored to be invited to join the ranks of Fayetteville's finest musicians.
I met Harlan Dino in 1974 after I arrived here from Montreal, Canada. And the reason that I came to Fayetteville was that there was an amateur orchestra in Fayetteville. And I thought, well, perhaps I might be good enough to play in there. And so I had the audition with Harlan. And he just asked me, he said, what pieces are you playing? And I mentioned a few things. He said, okay, well, come and join us. There was no official audition or playing for him at all.
Well, I like that I'm sitting at the piano because that was Harlan's first love. When I first met him, he told me about how he was self-taught for most of his musical skills, but the piano is where he started, and that he never took a whole lot of formal lessons. But he realized early on that he had a gift, and he said, well, Amina, you should always use the gifts that God gives you.
Harlan was the 3rd music director and conductor for the Fayetteville Symphony, and he was the longest serving one, serving for almost 22 years as our conductor. We still honor him with a concerto competition for teenagers that is a statewide competition and provides a scholarship for those students. And it's a very competitive scholarship program. We have usually about 20-25 students enter, and it is in his name every year.
I sang with Harlan Dino at the First Presbyterian Church Choir for around 10 years, from 1983 to somewhere around maybe 1994. Harlan was a delightful person to sing under. He was fun, and yet we got the job done. He, like many musicians, he would go from one venue to the next, whether it's the Fayetteville Civic Chorus, whether it's the Fayetteville Symphony, whether it's First Presbyterian Church, or performing for a wedding.
I met him in '97, and he was just fun-loving. I was introduced through Buddy Kearns, mutual friend,
Yeah, Buddy was...
and he was just an amazing player, just a big, but his persona in general was just loved music. And whatever you asked him to do, he was on it. Hey, do you want to play?
He was very gentle on the orchestra members.
Harlan was just fun to be around, and it was not always easy financially. And had he not made his efforts through some times that were a little bit difficult, we would not have what we have today.
When Dino died a few years ago, I lost one of my best friends and one of the finest pianists that I ever worked with.
And I'm so grateful that he is receiving this honor from the Fayetteville Music Hall of Fame.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Don Perkins, Roland Shaw, Mr. Allan Border, Dr. Michael Martin, and the Cumberland Oratorio Singers.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Fayetteville Music Hall of Fame. This program was created to honor those that have brought musical distinction to this community. And this year we're celebrating the 10th anniversary of this event. Everybody, let's give them a big round of applause all over. For our first induction tonight, we honor the late Harlan Dino. Harlan was a teacher, he was a conductor and performer, and he personified what this award is all about. To accept the award for Harlan, please welcome one of his close friends, a former choir associate, and a member of the First Presbyterian Church. Please welcome Don Perkins.
Thank you, sir. I want to read to you the inscription on this beautiful plaque. Harlan F. Dino, magic in his music. From age 10, when Harlan Dino would sneak into the Methodist church in his hometown of Chickasaw, Iowa, and teach himself to play the piano, music would be a part of him. From the University of Northern Iowa, where he would major in music education, Dino would find himself a soldier in 1962 on Fort Bragg and assigned to the 440th Army Band. He would later found the Fort Bragg Chorus, and after military service, Dino would lead the Fayetteville Symphony from 1979 until 1993 as conductor and music director, as well as the Fayetteville Civic Chorus. Dino was the consummate conductor and teacher, and spent many years touring with opera great and tenor Michael Best on the Columbia Artist Talent roster. Dino spent the last 20 years of his life as director of music at First Presbyterian Church, where he loved playing the Moeller pipe organ on Sunday mornings and directing the choir. While Sundays were the choir and the congregation, the first school program and chapel day for 2 to 4-year-olds were among his favorite musical days. The kids just loved him, Cheryl Warren remembers. He was just magic, and he put magic in his music. Harlan F. Dino died at age 67 on February 6, 2007, enshrined as the 26th inductee by the Community Concerts Board of Directors at the Crown Theater. On behalf of Harlan Dino and all who love him, it is indeed my honor to accept this award that will be placed in the historical room of First Presbyterian Church. And I would like my pastor, Dr. Michael Garrett, to stand in the audience. And we thank you for this. This will be on public display.
For our next induction, please, for our next induction, our honoree, Allan Border, along with his friend and former Oratorio singer, County Commissioner, and City Councilman, they're here. Please welcome Allan Border and Roland Shaw.
Not a day passed when there wasn't the sounds of music in the Porter home at 1121 North Walnut Street in McKeesport, Pennsylvania, where Allan Porter's family, the father was a singer and his mother too. They would pass their passion for music along to their son. Allan once said, "I would not want to live without music." From the U.S. Air Force, Mount Union College in Northeast Ohio, and the University of Illinois, Allan Border found his way in 1963 to Methodist College, now Methodist University, where for 35 years he would craft a teaching legacy in music for generations of students. Alice Armentrout, who would become a music teacher herself, once said of him, "He enabled his students to feel the music." And Porter also enabled this community to feel the music too, as director of the Hay Street United Methodist Church Choir from 1963 to 2004, and in 1992, founding the Cumberland Oratorio Singers, a cross-section of community residents with a love of song. He said, "The Cumberland Oratorio Singers has been one of the biggest things in my life, and I love it." He went on to say, "We have got to have music. I wouldn't want to live without it." This has been enshrined on one of the beautiful pieces here that will be his to take. I want to say this. Allan, I think you were very clever to come tonight for this award. As a fine tenor, you have come when the 10 tenors have come. I'd say that was great timing.
Allan, let me come to you, and congratulations on this honor.
Thank you so much. I want to especially thank the Community Concerts for this honor. That's a wonderful group of people and a wonderful group of musicians, and I'm grateful to them for bestowing this honor upon me. And I'm in good company, I know. So thank you very much.
This gentleman has done a ton for music in this community. Let's give him another big round of applause. All right, we've got one more to do. For our final presentation, please welcome the Artistic Director of the Cumberland Oratorio Singers, ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Michael Martin.
Walking the halls of Methodist University, I get to see Allan's picture every day. And I'm reminded that the legacy of choral music is begun by him, and I can only succeed him, certainly not replace him. And so it's always my honor to be at Methodist and to be part of that legacy that Allan began. The inscription on the plaque reads as follows: They come from all walks of life and all with a love of song. No more than 1/4 of the members are professional musicians. Allan Border once said of the chorus when he founded in 1992, after the bicentennial of 17th century classical composer Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart's death. I put together a choir that consisted of my college choral group plus a large number of townspeople. We did the Mozart Requiem, and when it was over, the singers didn't want to break up. They said, "Why can't we keep going?" And today, after a 1/4 century, the voices of the Cumberland Oratorio singers, under my direction, continue to perform from Huff Concert Hall at Methodist University to Seabrook Auditorium at Fayetteville State University and all over Cumberland County, and continue to work with music partners such as and includes the Fayetteville Symphony Orchestra. It's been my honor to serve and represent this great community through our gifts of music, friendship. Conducting this organization has been a highlight of my conducting career. And so on behalf of the Cumberland Oratorio Singers, I'd like to say thank you to the community concerts for this wonderful award. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael. To conclude this year's ceremony, we're going to show you just how special this group is. Michael, tell them what we're going to do.
Backstage, I handed Allan a program from 1972-73 Methodist College. And on it, the second song they sang at that concert was Ave Verum Corpus by Mozart. And we'd like to sing that for you tonight.
Thank you, guys. Let's have a big round of applause for all our inductees tonight. Thank you very much. All right. We've got a ton of tenors to entertain you in just about a minute. They'll be out in just a few seconds. Let's let them know you're here with a big round of applause for the Thunder from Down Under. Australia's singing and entertainment sensation. If you think 3
tenors are great. Wait till you hear what Tim can do. Thank you for coming and enjoy the show.